Ancient views and treatments. Historians who have examined the unearthed bones, artwork, and other remnants of ancient societies have concluded that these societies probably regarded abnormal behavior as the work of evil spirits. People in prehistoric societies apparently believed that all events around and within them resulted from the actions of magical, sometimes sinister, beings who controlled the world. In particular, they viewed the human body and mind as a battleground between external forces of good and evil. Abnormal behavior was typically interpreted as a victory by evil spirits, and the cure for such behavior was to force the demons from a victim's body. This supernatural view of abnormality may have begun as far back as the Stone Age, 500,000 years ago. Some skulls from that period recovered in Europe and South America show evidence of an operation called trephination, in which a stone instrument, or trephine, was used to cut away a circular section of the skull. Some historians have concluded that this early operation was performed as a treatment for severe abnormal behavior, either hallucinations, in which people saw or heard things not actually present, or melancholia, characterized by extreme sadness and immobility. The purpose of opening the skull was to release the evil spirits that were supposedly causing the problem. In recent decades, some historians have questioned whether Stone Age people actually believed that evil spirits caused abnormal behavior. Trephination may instead have been used to remove bone splinters or blood clots caused by stone weapons during tribal warfare. Either way, later societies clearly did attribute abnormal behavior to possession by demons. Egyptian, Chinese, and Hebrew writings all account for psychological deviance this way. The Bible, for example, describes how an evil spirit from the Lord affected King Saul and how David feigned madness to convince his enemies that he was visited by divine forces. The treatment for abnormality in these early societies was often exorcism. The idea was to coax the evil spirits to leave or to make the person's body an uncomfortable place in which to live. A shaman, or priest, might recite prayers, plead with the evil spirits, insult the spirits, perform magic, make loud noises, or have the person drink bitter potions. If these techniques failed, the shaman performed a more extreme form of exorcism, such as whipping or starving the person. Psych Watch. Modern pressure, modern problems. The 21st century, like each of the centuries before it, has spawned new fears and concerns that are tied to its unique community threats, environmental dangers, and technological changes. These new fears have received relatively little study. They may or may not reflect abnormal functioning. Nevertheless, they have caught the attention of the media and clinical observers. Such fears include terrorism terror, crime phobia, and cyber fear. Terrorism terror. Global terrorism has become a major source of anxiety in contemporary society, particularly since the September 11, 2001 attacks on the World Trade Center in New York City and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. Moreover, everyday hassles of the past have been turned into potential threats by their association with the actions of terrorists. Few people in Kenya, for example, are now able to view shopping as a simple pleasure or minor hassle, given the 2013 militant terrorist attack on the Westgate Shopping Center in Nairobi, in which at least 67 shoppers were killed. Crime phobia. People today are increasingly anxious about crime. Some observers note that the fear of crime, predominantly armed violence, has restructured how individuals live. Political scientist Jonathan Simon says, fear of crime can have a more powerful effect on people and neighborhoods than crime itself. Fear of crime governs us in our choices of where to live, where to work, where to send our children to school. And these choices are made with increasing reference to crime. Many theorists point to disproportionate media coverage of violent crimes as a major cause of crime phobia. particularly given that crime anxiety seems to keep rising even while actual crime rates are falling. Cyber fear. Many people live in fear of computer crashes, server overloads, or computer viruses. And some, stricken by a combination of crime phobia and cyber fear, worry constantly about e-crimes, such as computer hoaxes or scams, theft of personal information by computer, computer identity theft, and cyber terrorism. Several treatment programs have been developed to help people deal with such anxieties and return to carefree keyboarding. The horror of terrorism. Fearful shoppers at the Westgate Shopping Center in Kenya scramble for safety as armed police hunt the terrorist gunman who went on a shooting spree and took hostages at the mall on September 21, 2013.